Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me and see me. And I'm excited to be here with you today. I think we're going to have a good time. I always wonder, what will I talk about today? Then when I go around gathering up my stuff, I get very happy, get excited, because it's like, oh, there's all this stuff I can share with them. So, hello, everyone. It is so good to see you. The Siberian wind is back, and I think, was the Siberian wind, oh gosh, Teresa? Nah, oh gosh, I'm so afraid I got your name, Sarah? So sorry, I am awful with names. But if I can see something in writing... Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I wonder if I can bring my chat window over better. I'm not quite... There we go. And let's see. No? Okay. Hi. So, I am doing much better. Tammy, that's it. I'm so sorry. And I have a family friend named Tammy, and she was delightful. So, okay, everyone, I'm happy that you're here, and I can't wait to show you some things. I had a nice scheduled, let's go in order, but I'm too excited about today. So, let me switch cameras, and I'm going to show you what I've been working on. So, let me come down. I love this new OBS system. Thank you, Mark, and my son, Chris, for helping me do this. So, detail. Here, you can see, I've got so much stuff here to talk about and to do with you. So, what I'm going to show you very first is, I'm going to show you, I think I showed you last week for my birthday, I got a new miniature kit. This one is for a sewing room. And look at these cute little houseplants you make. Now, you would probably never believe these are just printed papers, but they're printed beautifully. And then you take and it's a printed paper, and when you fold it, it makes a mirror image. Then it has little green wire, and you glue it inside the little plant, and then you take and glue it inside this bead, which makes it look like a pot. But look at this. Isn't this cute? This is supposed to be the fabric stack that came with it, that I think is just so precious. So here is this. And this is a little bead, and they give you these little flowers, and you stick them in and glue them. This case is supposed to be a sewing machine case, and it is so cute because it just has a little piece of wood on each end that has the paper covering on it, and then this is just paper that goes over the edge, and then little paper straps, and this is a piece of paper. So, but these are actual fabrics they give you, and they give you a little wooden dowel that you cut and you roll the fabrics on. These are pieces of wood you glue together. It has little slots for the rolls. When I worked at the museum, I had them make a big roll holder like this. It was great big for all the canvas fabrics, the linens that I had to have. So I'll show you some of the things I've made. This, it just takes pre-printed paper and little raffia that you kind of peel apart the two plies. And look at this cute little shopping bag. I just think that is just so cute. Let me turn off this light and see if it gets a little brighter. Okay, yeah, I think it's better if I leave that light off. I always say that, but I want to always try it first. But I think there's got to be a kind of light where I can give you a little bit more brightness as we look through things. Because it's only fun if you can see it. Good? Okay, here we go. Here is another vase. They give you a bead and you stick the flowers in. And these are real flowers that have been, I guess, sprayed, dyed. Look at this cute little easel. It's just two pieces of wood that are glued at the top and a little paper, because this is supposed to be a tailor's shop, but it was the best miniature house that I saw that had a sewing setup. And here, whoops, I don't think this is supposed to be on here, but here's a little sewing table that you put together with just gluing little pieces of wood. Isn't that cute? I love, oh, and there's even a treadle wheel. I think that's cute. Here's the sewing chair that goes with it. I love this. I just, look at the fabric folded up in the basket. This is just paper looking like fabric. Here is a paper ruler that you make out of the kit. Here are some cute little pillows. Evidently they're going to have a place to sit. Here's another roll of fabric. The shop sign that you make. Look at this cute little, I'm trying to remember what this is called. It's a mirror, a standing mirror. And they even give you a little reflective paper. Here's another pillow. But you can see where here's just a paper pretend woven basket. They told you to put a little bit of the stuffing in here. I guess these are supposed to be knitting needles or just needles. Now this is my favorite basket. This was a piece of paper, and you take and you weave the raffia around and glue it onto the bottom, and then start wrapping the raffia up the sides. Then you take a piece of raffia and right near the bottom you kind of open the plies so it looks like a basket handle. And it's got a cute little pretend book of fashion. I'm not sure what these little balls are supposed to be, but maybe just to add color. Here is the cutest cabinet. Look at this cat. Look at the details of this cabinet. Look at how it's got the little rolls of ribbon. There are tiny little beads, and you roll the little pieces of ribbon they give with you. Then here are little beads, and you wrap some little string like this that they give you in the kit. Then here is a printed tape measure that I roll up. And then this is supposed to be like a fashion pattern that you roll up and put a bow on. But I think that is so cute. So then, oh, this sits on top of the desk, and it has a little wooden, little wooden pair of scissors that I put the metallic paper on. Then some more little spools of thread, and then this ruler. It was a paper one, but it took one of the little scraps of wood and told you to wrap and glue it around that. So isn't that so cute? Now what did I do? I had some scissors that you take wire. Oh, and this is going to be a little sale sign that hangs on the building. Oh, look at these. All this is, you cut out two pieces of silvery paper to make it look like the metal scissors. Then you take some copper wire and make your little handles. And look at these cute little scissors. So, and these are all kinds of books. Oh, these are supposed to be bolts of fabric. So you've got a couple books here. Here's another basket that's going to have some things in it. Here's a little box I made. Something else rolled up. Another book here that's just, it's actually light as air because it's just paper folded into the book shape. But all of these are going to be bolts of fabric sitting on the shelves in the little house. This is supposed to be a little picture sitting on an easel. So, oh, this is the ironing board and iron. Is that the cutest? And you glue the little fabric along the top. And you just take the little pieces of wood and glue them together. And there you've got a little ironing board. And look at this. This is supposed to be another tape measure, a ruler back here. Then you take these little sticks and you carve them to look like a pencil, and then you put a dot of permanent ink on them, then glue it in a bead, and it looks like a container holding it. So I've got to tell, oh, this is so funny. I think a lot of you would agree that this looks like a hat, like a fashion hat. All it consists of is a little wooden disc, a piece of pink paper that you glue on top of the wooden disc, a little oval bead, and then the hardest part was tying that tiny bow. And you just use a real, I like using fast grab tacky glue. Oh, and here I found another leaf, so I'm going to have to make myself another petal for my plant. But isn't just, I'm just now making, and I worked on this only last Monday, because my new thing is every Monday Mark and I take off and do nothing. I mean, if we just want to sit and watch TV, that's good. But I end up working so hard during the week to get things done, I need that Monday time off. Alright, so now let me put all this stuff back in here, along with the little lighting kit. And I just thought I would show you. So this is the kit my Katie gave me. And last Monday, when we were having our own day to do whatever we wanted, this was what I wanted to do. But I haven't touched it since Monday. It's going to be my Monday treat. So, because sometimes you need a little treat, you know, to say, hey, I've worked hard. Now I get to play. All right. Now, I wanted to show you this youtube.com/watch V equals 9 hyphen uppercase Y lowercase y 1 W uppercase J L U T G. And I will also put it up in our chat, because our Marcia Hahn, I was so tickled to read this, and she found a woman making prosperity hens. And it reminded me, I had some prosperity hens started that I didn't finish. So I think some of you might remember me making these about 2 years ago. And what I did is I made a strand for myself first, and then my daughter came to visit, my one daughter who doesn't have any prosperity hens, and I said, would you like these? And she said, yes. So I've got to make some new ones for me. So I start with what looks like an old bell. From my understanding, prosperity hens were very popular in India. And so some of the supplies that I use reflect that. So this is the bell that hangs at the end. Yes, this is a little bit of a big bell. Normally prosperity hens would be only real tiny. But you know what? I do everything big, so my prosperity hens are going to be pretty darn big. So here we go. So this, I bought these, I forget where, but they're supposed to look like aged cowbells. All right. Then I went through my fabrics and I thought, what do I want my prosperity hens to look like? And oh good, Mark's going for a bike ride. I just heard his motorcycle come up. These are like, I think, Allison Glass fabrics, but I love their bold, simple colors. And like here is another one. Look at that. Isn't that the coolest color? So I pulled these fabrics out of my stash and said, these are going to be for my prosperity hens. And I've added a few extra because prosperity hens are usually very colorful and it makes them a lot of fun. Let me see what else. But I tried to use, for the most part, pretty graphic fabrics that are easy to look at and enjoy. And so just little bits of everything, you know. Whatever I thought went with the collection. Uh, some of them even in this. So what fun, what fun. All right, now I'm looking through this bag because I haven't been in this bag in a couple years. Oh, here, see, I'd already cut all these out. I tell you what, if I only had the amount of hours, here is a prosperity hen already made. Now, where I'm different from that address that I gave you, that I will give you again, she is got, I really liked her style. I turned on her channel. Marsha Hahn gave us the tip off on it, and I like that woman's YouTube channel and her style of speaking and her energy level. So I'm definitely happy to promote her channel. What I wanted to show you is I cut my own shape, and I wanted mine to look a little bit more hen shape, but you can have them be whatever shape you want. And this is what it comes out to be. This is the head, this is the tail. Now, she does cute little tufts of fabric for the head and tail, but when I started researching prosperity hens, I found the ones that I found, let me find the right, okay, here they are. These are all different size little bells, little tiny, I don't know if you can quite, can you, let me see, maybe you can hear the little ring. They're little tiny bells. These are what I use for the beaks for mine, because I love them. They've got that old bronzed brass look that I think are so cool. And see, they're little tiny bells, and so they have the little hole that you can use to sew them on. So that's what I would first do. Let me see if I still have a threaded needle over here, and I do. So let me tie a knot on my thread. Now I'm trying to remember what I used for the tail. Oh, I know what I used for the tail. Okay. So this one, I put light blue eyes on it, and I'll show you more about that. But then for the beak, and I don't know where I saw these, but I looked them up. I wanted to learn about them, but I looked them up. So I'm just going to come in this seam line, try to bury my knot. Let's see how good I am at burying that knot. Not very good. I guess I tied it a little big. Hold on, let me shrink it up a little. Okay, I don't know if it's going to go through, but I'm not going to worry because the bead will hide it. Then I'm going to come down here and get one of these cute bells. I mean, it's amazing what you can find, and they're probably from India. But I'm going to take the bell, and they weren't much. They were just a couple dollars for like 50. So let me see, I'm going to go through this. I want to make sure I go through the bell numerous times and then make a big enough bite in the fabric that it's not going to be tempted to come off. Now it looks like I don't have the, well, I want something a little contrasting for the tail. Oh, that matches. I don't know, but I could do the tail out of this, or I could do a contrasting tail. I'll have to decide. But I'm going to have so many colors of these little gals that, and all my prosperity hens, of course, are girls. We know where the power lies. Okay, so that's 3 times I've gone through there, and this acts like a little beak. Okay, Now you can do as much or as little as you like. A lot of times I take the floss and I'll make outlines of a wing on the little chicken. It just depends on how much you want to put in them. I like to think that the prosperity comes from the love and attention you give it while you're working on it. But let me, oh, that string is a little loose. So, okay. Now, maybe, I have all these different color flosses in here. Maybe I'll put a nice orange tail. Yeah, I think, well, orange and blue are complementary colors. So I think orange is a pretty good idea. So what I do for the tail, I hope Marcia watches this because I was so tickled that she put that in the group. Now I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers. Okay, let me pull out some more. And I happen to just have this variegated, and I knew, oh, that would show up really good. So now what I've done is I've just got this loop, okay? Then I'm going to take my thread, which I failed to knot. Hold on. One thing that I was taught when I was a young sewer by a woman named T, who I loved dearly. She said, always make, the moment you cut loose your thread from whatever you're sewing, make your next knot. And that has been the best advice, the best single piece of advice I've had about sewing. So here it is. I pull and make that knot. Now I'm going to take the top of this loop right here, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to stitch it on. Whoops, let me make sure I get it. You know why I'm having a hard time seeing? Because I forgot to put my glasses on. Alright, so I'm just going to take a bunch of good stitches, make them nice and snug. You don't want her losing tail feathers. Okay. Nice and snug. And then I'm going to put a knot, 2 knots on the end. Not all the way at the end, about 1/4 of an inch away. And you'll see why in just a second. About 1/4 of an inch away, I'm going to do a double knot. And then I'm going to come in here, in that seam allowance, and I'm going to bury the knot. I think it went in pretty good. Alright, so now I've buried the knot. I'm going to trim it off. Okay, and then I'm going to pull the tail out. And you can either cut it, well, I'll go ahead and cut it directly in half, like this. And then what I'm going to do, I like the tails to be very expressive. So I'm going to pull the threads out like this. And I'm going to cut her a cute little tail. And if you want, you can even take and fluff out the threads a little bit. Where the strand is 6 threads, fluff them just a little. You can, in fact, you know what? I think the needle would do a really good job of fanning these threads out so that she's got a very nice expressive tail. Alright, so here is our prosperity hen, and she's got the bell for a beak, eyes, and then I may go in, like I said, and just do a little, I think I will do a little hand embroidery stitch that delineates that wing. And what I'm going to try to do is go upstairs, or at least use the part that's very light. I want it to be able to show up. And so then you take, I'm trying to remember what I used last time. I might have used a piece of wire. I might have used a very heavy string. And you're going to go straight up through the hen and come out here, and they're all going to end up being strung together. Now what I have, so now let me move these things over. Don't want to lose my needle, because I've got a long needle, because sometimes I have to sew through her little body. Alright, so I'm going to put all of these up. Whoops, don't want to lose my cute little bells. Okay, now let's see. Let me put these fabrics away so we can see what we're doing. And the big bells for the end. If I could have, I would have bought a slightly shorter bell there. I didn't need all that. And I just wanted to show you too, I keep a bag with stuffing in this project bag. So when I pick up the project bag, I've got everything, even thread. So I've got everything I need right with me. Now, what I want to show you, even a pin cushion, which is a little hen, which I think is cute. All right, I have, here are some beads for the eyes. Lots of choices of color. Then, the fun part of doing prosperity hens, I think, is deciding what kind of beads to decorate the string of them with. So I'm going to show you some of the different ideas I had for these. Alright, you could have a wooden look, like these. You could have a wooden colorful bead look. You could have wooden beads, different colors. You could use these inexpensive metallic looking pony beads or silver beads. These are the wooden look over here. So these are all choices. But then I also found these, which these to me are even prettier. I'm going to move these here. You know what? If I put them like this, yeah. Alright, thank goodness for all these cute little containers for holding beads. Alright, and I just grabbed up all the ones that I have considered so that you could see your choices. But look at these are pretty glass beads, and I think they're gorgeous. So what you do with these beads is in between each prosperity hen, you put several beads. So it's a very colorful thing. Then I have some of these wooden flat, I think they're called spacer beads. So, okay. So you could use spacer beads and put a glass bead on each side of the spacer. That would be really dramatic. But then if you wanted to go that wooden bead route, look at these cute little wooden beads. They're great. So consider these. Then if you wanted to keep a rustic look, although the ones I've seen made in India are usually very bright and colorful, but let's say you wanted to go with that bronzed brass look or bronze look. So look at these. So that could be a classy look right there. That they would be spacer beads. And you can use them in conjunction with other things. Then I wanted to show you these, because you could use these for the eyes. So let's say you wanted to use the bronze spacer bead. then these would be good choices for the eyes for the hens. So I guess what I'm really saying is the sky is the limit. There are so many choices you can make, and that way your prosperity hens will be your own. For me, I like sitting and sewing these up by hand. It's very relaxing. You know, I always have to have a hand project, so at the end of a tiring day, I can do something that really relaxes me. And I tell you what, this last 6 months, I've needed all the relaxing I could get. So, oops, let me grab these. They're rolling away. I love these spacer. These, I think they're painted wooden spacer beads, but they're beautiful. So my thought is I'm going to use the spacer bead in between two of these glass beads, between every prosperity hen. Oops, I didn't mean to put that in that. But I always like to clean up as soon as I've shown you something, because I don't want to lose it. You know, it's like if I just push it aside, there's too many chances that I'm going to lose it. All right, so let me just scoop the last up of these. So I hope I've given you some ideas. And don't forget, she does, the woman who does the YouTube video on prosperity hens, her idea of using fabric for the face and tail is really cute too. So there's just all kinds of ways to do it, to make them, and to me that's part of the fun, because you're putting your own input in, and I think that's grand. All right, so there we go. Now let me put the last, because this way now my kit will be back together again, so that anytime I want to sit down and work on this, I am ready to. Okay. I thought you might like to see that, and I've loved it. I especially noticed, I'm trying to find my cursor. I have noticed, especially on YouTube ads, Fire Mountain Beads has been doing some, and here's the satchel that I keep all of it in one place. I've gotten bigger and bigger on keeping a project, some kind of container that I can pick it up and go and create. I'm getting too old to round stuff up. So there is that. All right. But thank you, Marcia, for finding that, because that's unusual. I touched the camera and we went there. But anyway, thank you, Marcia, for this, because it reminded me, I forget, that was sitting in my frame room, just kind of languishing there. So that is fun, and I've got so many things I'm trying to do at night. I'm still trying to work on these borders for my sparrow quilt, and you know, where I just sit in the evening, I glue these in place and then just sit and do applique. And I love that. And I've still got cherries to put on all of these. So right now I have so many current active projects and not enough me. And speaking of not enough me, Mark and I are going to celebrate our first anniversary this Wednesday. Now, in reality, we've been together 21 years, but we made it official, it's this Wednesday. So we were talking about that, and he came in my upstairs frame room where I was sewing, and he kind of looked around, and I'm like, I can't believe I've let this room get this messy. And I said, I just don't have the time. By the time I try to make all the stuff to get ready for the show, to take a whole day off to clean the room up is not in the cards. So I've decided, I hope it's okay with you, I've decided to take a vacation this coming up week. So that means no show on, today's the 18th, no show on May 25th, I believe. And this is going to be good for a couple of reasons. In the next week and a half, I have a regular doctor's visit and I have a colonoscopy, which is always so much fun. So this will give me a chance to kind of kick back a little bit, relax just a little bit. Oh, thank you. And it's like I told y'all, we've got our sewing project together that we're going to do. Every July, I will give you a live sewing class. And I can't wait. I don't know how to, I'm trying to make this chat window bigger. Let me see. Oh, there we go. And let me see if I can move this window. No, I can't see how I can move that. Oh, well. But we've got a 1 week class where every single day for about 5 hours a day, I'm going to be on Jitsi, which is like a Zoom. It's all free to you. And we're going to make a quilt together. And if you don't want to make the quilt I'm making, no problem. You can bring sewing and just come and visit. And Jitsi is free, and so it's going to be fun. And so that's going to be in July, usually the second week of July. I like to get past July 4th. I was going to have the choices for you today, but I just didn't get to it this week. So when I come back, that should be around the 1st of June. I'm just taking one Sunday off. And I even told Mark I'd like to try with his help to do some of I've been wanting to do this for years, which are going to be skill snips. And it's going to be short little videos of specific skills so that if you have a question about something, you can easily go find it in my listings. And so I told him it would be a great time to try a few of those and get them put on. So I'm not promising, but I might have something for you to look at anyway, even though I won't be here next Sunday. So anyway, also, I have been out in the yard, and it took us 2 days to get the majority of the plants in the ground and in pots. We do a lot of gardening in pots now because between the wild bunnies and the chickens and all that, if I plant in the ground, deer, oh my gosh, between the deer and the bunnies, anything I plant right in the ground usually gets eaten. So, oh, thank you. 50 years in June. Oh, honey, congratulations, Debbie. I think that is wonderful. And I haven't even looked to see all who's here. Yeah, I told Mark, I said, aren't you glad this year that we're not doing the wedding? Because I was exhausted last year doing all of the cupcakes and the party gifts and everything that went with the wedding and then the week at the lake house that we rented. So it was fun. But I just need some time to back off. There's Marcia. Both my Marcias are here, Marcia Florum and Marcia Hun. And so anyway, I hope you won't mind, but I think it'll be really good for my soul. Just to kind of, because I love doing this. I love your friendship. It is so much fun. But I end up just sometimes, I take off my Monday, but the rest of the time I'm trying so hard to get enough of a show for Sundays. So sometimes I got to take a little break. But I definitely love this group. And I would be lost without you guys. So you're so special. So I'm going to show you what I've been working on this week, because I've told you I just had my 69th birthday, which means 70 is peeking around the corner at me. How did that happen? I was just 48 and now I'm 70. Well, I'm not gonna rush it. Just turned 69. But anyway, I'm starting to feel that pressure of how many years of sewing and quilting do I have left? And how many projects do I have waiting to be finished? And it's really dawned on me that an unfinished quilt project is not much more than trash, because not many people want to take on someone's already started project. And so I am really on a goal. Oh, yay, Cheryl. Cheryl makes 70 look good, though. That gal is a busy whirlwind and does so much work for the Race to the Cure and all of that. So fantastic, Cheryl. It's really been weighing on me, all these unfinished quilts. Because about 2 years ago, I started to record everything that I had, meaning kits, things I hadn't started yet, unfinished projects. And it was well over 100. So I'm really committed now to slowing down the new projects and finishing the old. And that way I still have things. Oh, Marcia, you're cute. I still have when I work on some of my former projects, I still have things I can share with you. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. So let me go over to the other camera and let's talk about, I spent hours and hours this week, probably 15 hours on this. So let me show you. And it feels good. My daughter this is daughter Katie. She's been married 16 years coming up May 23rd, I think. And so the end of this week or something. And her wedding quilt is still in progress. Now, I'm not going to beat myself up because I did make my own wedding outfit and I made her wedding gown. And a groomsman pillow. A ring bearer's pillow. So I'm not going to beat myself up too bad, except, okay, I understand I was busy before the wedding, but the last 16 years, are you kidding? It's more about attention deficit then. Oh, so here we go. Let me switch the camera over. Come on, Deb. That little cursor, I tell you, it gets smaller and smaller. All right, I was telling you last week that the John Flynn method is my very favorite method of making a double wedding ring. Here's this picture of him back when he was just a young guy. This book was written in 1990, which means it's 35 years old. And this is an original. So this is a treasure for me. And I bought it used, and it's wonderful. So this is what I love to use for making the wedding quilt. And here I found the original, what's the word you use for this? The original templates, yes. And hunt, peck for words. And so this is called the melon, and this is called the arc. And then, let me show you, here are the melons. So there they are. And, okay, these are all the melons. And here are the arcs. And you sew the arcs to the melon, one on each side, which gives you something like these right here. And then when you get these done, and they need a corner piece on each end, when you get those done, then you sew them to this. And you put one completed arc and melon on each of the 4 sides. So, and sewing on this curve is not hard at all, I have found. You put a pin in the middle and a pin on each end, and then just gently guide it under the machine. It's not a big deal. But one thing I found when I showed you this last week, oh, here are the cornerstones, light pink, dark pink. My Katie has always loved 1930s quilts. Always loved them. And so this is how we knew what color. And if you look, I have sheep. See the little sheep? I have sheep, I have flowers, I have farm animals. Let me see. There's some that are roosters, but where are they? Oh, actually, I think that's a cat. Yep, she loves cats. But I have a couple. Look at this sheep. Isn't that the cutest? But I have some with roosters and chickens because she always knew she wanted to have a little farm and farm animals. So anyway, okay. So here is what I have put together. Now I'm going to tell you, it's really hard to make these lie completely flat. And this is where you got to just kind of quilt it out. So when I put this all together and get it on the frame, I'm going to be very cognizant of the fullness and just do something that will help start in the middle of each block and quilt out. But let me tell you the problem with some of the pieces that I found. In 16 years, remember I've always been very honest that I'm not the best piecer because I'm impatient. I don't like to do excessive pinning, and I try to sew quickly. I'm always in a hurry. Well, one thing I found, these are probably going to have to be taken apart. You see they're puckery? One thing I found is I wasn't careful how I tapered these. And then I trim them for whatever god-awful reason. And so some of my older arcs, I have already opened up, and I'm going to have to splice a new little piece in between. And I luckily have the fabric so I can match it, but they're just a smidgen too small, and that's why some of these are so puckery, okay? These were the newer ones I made, and so it's a lot smoother in the middle. But let me show you what I've been spending my week doing. For one thing, once I found these, I went back and checked all my melons for accuracy. I found some that were a little off, so I fixed it. This is what a completed arc should look like. Here is the template. And if you see, these are extra. This is just the template with just the 6 pieces. And so every arc I've sewn, I have made myself double check with the template. Okay, so that's, let me move it over this way a little. All right, so this is what I've been working on. These are all newly sewn arcs. Then I check it with the template. The one thing you have to do is the sewing method, these were all strip pieces, so they were all straight strips. You come back, you look at the size block you made, which I'm making a 15-inch block, and it shows you how to put your needle at the top of where you already sewed and come at an angle in. And that is determined by what size block you're making. So, for this one, it was 3/16. So you start at the same place at the top, but you angle. And so I put a piece of tape on my machine to mark the 3/16 from the needle. And then by the time you do, so there are 6 pieces on each arc right here. So that's 5 seams that you have to taper. And I made sure I tapered very carefully. I put the tape on the machine. I paid attention. I found some of these straight arc pieces. Oh, here is one I pulled apart. This is what I was going to show you. Look at 16 years ago how sharp I had made the arcs. This is too sharp for this, and look at the difference, because these, when sewn together, let me place it just right, they were so sharp that there was no way they would fit. So I've had to take them apart, and I've got oh, here's one of the little rooster fabrics, but I've got the extra fabric, and I'm going to have to add just a sliver of matching fabric to each one of these sides so that I can get the arc to taper, because it was just, if I tried to stretch it where it should be, there's not quite enough fabric. So that's going to be a bear, but you know what? It's just sewing. I put on a good audiobook and I enjoy it. Luckily, I hadn't done that many too small. Most of them were still in their straight space. So all of these this week, I tapered. And what I do is, you know, everything is faster and easier if you chain piece. So this one has each end on it, as you see. So now that's when you put it on, you put one piece without the ends on it on the arc, on the melon. On the other side you have the cornerstones, and you put that on. But what I did is pretend this is straight and hadn't been curved, and I just put one on and I sew that curve. Then I would get another straight one, I'd come right behind, put this on, sew the curve. So I just did them assembly line, and to me that is the fastest, because you're doing the very same thing to each piece going on. It saves a ton of thread, and it just, you put on some good music, or you put on an audiobook, and it's just mindless enjoyment. I really don't mind it. So I told Mark I did about 50 of these arcs, and 50 times 5 seam allowances to adjust. That was 250 seams I sewed. So, oops, and I just see a problem right there. That one has not been sewn on the angle. Well, oh poo. Look at that. I missed that one. Because each of these should have, see how this is a straight seam? It should have this arc over here. But I've already trimmed it. I didn't catch it, and then I trimmed it, and probably trimmed more than I needed to, because I'm leaving it. There are certain times, don't fuss with it. But anyway, I did have a template that I made 16 years ago, and I got all of these done. So I was looking, this is a wonderful book, as I've told you, and I was looking at the 15-inch planning chart, trying to see what size I wanted. Let me pull this over a little. What size do I want to make this quilt? And I saw that if I made like a king-size quilt, then I'm going to have 360 arcs. So if I make a quilt that's 100 by 100, 360 of those strip-pieced arcs. I'm not sure if I'm up to that. So what I'm going to have to decide, and that would be for a 9 blocks wide by 9 blocks down quilt. So I'm just going to work for right now. I'm just going to work on them and see how many I've got. They should all be cut out and made, but I'm not sure. I don't really remember. Now there's a pencil line right here. That's 220 arcs, and that would be 68.50 by 89.50. And then I was thinking, I have always wanted to make a double wedding ring that has a scalloped edge. Wouldn't that be cool? But that's another whole thing, and that would be a whole lot of bias binding to make, to run around the scalloped edge. So I haven't decided for sure yet, but I just wanted to show you I worked real hard on this week, and I'm real tickled with that. Okay, now for the star of the day, this is what we've been working on for 2 weeks. I guess 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I got this one done pretty fast. And, oops, okay. And it was pretty easy to do, all things considered. It was very easy to do. Let me turn the light on, just see what it looks like. Okay, so here it is. Here is my seagull up here. And here is the bright crab, and I left his claw loose so he could look a little three-dimensional with that little claw like that. And then, because normally he wouldn't be out of the water, he would feel very vulnerable. And this is the one that was the lighter color. So it was a fabric with just blues and whites. And I saw this very pale one, and then I saw this vibrant one, and I thought, that way it could look like it was under the water. And I think it does. I think it gives that an interesting look. I still have to come out here. I want to round this more. It's too straight. And so I'm going to extend the fabric and the laces out just to round it more here. But I've almost got everything sewn down, and I have put little shells. And those little shells came from a strand of shell beads, and I love them on there. So I've gotten my starfish sewn down, and that shell sewn down, and all my turtles. Now these turtles were the same, and they looked very similar, especially by me placing them here. So I cut loose the legs and changed the tilt to try to help keep them looking too matchy-matchy. And you know, I made these starfish using the Dorset button method, and that worked. These little guys were tough to sew in here. And then when I'm done, I'm going to kind of cover parts of them with the cheesecloth to show that they are headed right into the water. But here are all of my little shells. I had to make sure they had, luckily, since they had been a strand of beads, they had holes already put in them. These are supposed to be these turtles just closer to you, so they're bigger, because I only had just a few of these little ones. So, and I may come back and do more stitching, you know, if I really want to give them character, or I might just leave it at this and say, enough. But this was from an ad I saw that I think is probably a fictitious company, and they were trying to sell pillows that were like three-dimensional, you know, had the ripples and the stuff in the water. And I thought, I want to find out if I can do that. So I sewed the different graduations of fabric together. I put 2 layers of fusible interfacing on the back to give it body enough, and then just started folding and stitching and folding and stitching to make it look like the waves coming in, and then to make it look like all the footsteps in the disturbed sand and some of the wrinkles in the sand with the water receding. Then I found a sand dollar fabric and stitched that in. And oh, what I still need to do is put some more of the stitching in. Let me bring this near the light. I have been doing some big hand embroidery stitches and some French knots. So that's fun. I found one printed starfish, but then made the rest myself. So anyway, what I have left to do is I'm going to get some of the white sequins and I'm going to stitch them into the water to create some shine. Then, whoops, I knew this would be tricky to get that lid back on. I opened it upside down. Ah, there we go. Whoops. It almost worked. I don't do a lot with my little beads, so I don't know how to open these containers right. Oh man, I have opened similar glitter containers and glitter went everywhere. So, I'm still learning some of these craft ins and outs. So, but these put in the cheesecloth foam. And let me see if I can show you this. I think that they will look pretty neat. It'll, oops, see that? See how they kinda give it that? So that's gonna be really cool to do. I'm gonna enjoy that. And that's just very simple. I get a fine white thread and stitch them down. And just a nice long thread. Come up, stitch one on, go back under, come up, stitch one on, go back under. Very, very simple. And here is, I've already got a beading needle. I'm going to put these in the sand. I think they'll look really cool. Because you know how sand has a little glitter in it? If there's any, what was I thinking? If there's any quartz or anything in the sand crystals, then these are going to be wonderful. You know, I just realized I'm missing my pearl. I have some real tiny pearl beads that I'm going to put in the froth. But these are going to be great. Let me see. I don't know if you can see them. But these are going to be great for the sand. And just to have them. And a little bit of glit. You know, I love the idea of embellishing. It's just getting around to it sometimes. It's tricky, but it takes a lot of time to do the embellishing. But I'm all for slowing down the number of projects I do and enjoying them more. So that's rather important for me. But this was done as an experiment to see if I could do it. And what I found is it'll probably be the only one I ever do. It wasn't easy. It wasn't hard, but I'm just not sure I enjoy it that much to be worth the extra work it entailed. So, all right. And all these, I had put these shell beads in here. And so, the shell, these little tiny seed beads had gotten in the shell, and I had to dig them out of the shells. So, and then here are my 3 matching colors that I'm going to use to do some more embroidery stitches and French knots on the sand. So, there we go. Alright, so this, I will show it to you again next week. This is pretty much, I'm considering this just about done. And I even came down and I'm trying to decide what to bind it with, because I'm not really feeling like doing a border. So I might do like I did with the other one and just put a binding maybe that wraps around to the back. So I pulled out a few fabrics like these, and to try to decide, ooh, that I think, I thought, well, if we wanted a dark one, that would do it, but I think that's too dark. But, oh, this is kind of cool. What do you think of this one? So, just kind of, I'm thinking, I don't know, what do you guys think? I think I'm going to take out this one. I took out the dark one. This is pretty good. It's a little heavy on the greens. This is pretty cool. And this is going to be for a wide border. And then here is, and this one's pretty cool too. So, here is what I have to use. Do you have a choice? Is there one that you think is better than the others? What are you thinking for doing a wider binding for this quilt? And I'm not going to do a mat board like I normally, mat board fabric, because my mat boards would probably be these colors and I already have enough sand color. So the light, the dark, or the medium, you give me your opinion. You like the medium one? Okay, so Marcia likes the middle one, medium. I mean dark, the dark one. And you know, you might be right, because look at all, it pulls all the colors together, doesn't it? Yeah, it even has a little bit of some tannish colors. It has some of the green of the turtles. Anybody else have an opinion? I love getting y'all's opinions. I have found every time I get y'all's opinions, they work. So, as of right now, we're kind of thinking maybe this one, but okay, all right, so we've got it. And I just wanted to show you really quickly that here, oops, a red bead. Who wants a red bead? Okay, so here is my needle and thread right here. I was up to 4 this morning trying to finish putting, I've just got one more turtle to stitch down. But I just found 4 o'clock hit and I just couldn't sew anymore. But this one I'm trying to tuck in to the froth at the edge of the beach. Okay, so, oh, more, you like the light one? Ah, it is up. Debbie said middle. Melanie, darker border. Yeah, it kind of does frame around the work. Okay. All right. Y'all are doing great. Thank you for giving me your opinions. It's nice because that's one thing that's nice about sewing with a friend. Is you have someone to bounce things off. So now I cut out the little turtle with a little, because it was a print. I cut off his legs because he's in the surf there. I've tucked him in. So now, this is the hardest part about sewing anything on this, is if it's not near edge, it's hard to get it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the needle turn. So you just kind of tuck that needle in, push the fabric under, and then come and start sewing along the edge. Okay, now this is never going to be washed. And now another thing I do is like to tuck it under some of these waves so that you have a sense of the depth. So I don't know whether, I don't know. I might just put this over top, or I can kind of tuck this down. I might tuck that down. But some of them I try, if you can tuck it in, it gives it more of a feeling of depth. It's that easy to give it some dimension, a little bit more reality. So I'm just going to show you again. So I've got a little piece of batting, scrap batting, because I wanted them to have a little volume to their body. Okay, so now I'm just going to, and I'm making sure that the needle does not go all the way through to the backing, because this has already been quilted. And I don't want it to show through. But I just come along with, and I'm just using a gray. I figured with the colors that are in here, gray is perfect. Gray thread, I mean. So now I've sewn along the top. Now I'm going to come and sew along the bottom. And I've got to tuck that batting in and tuck the fabric under. Sometimes I can't get all of the fabric tucked very good. If that's the case, if it doesn't seem to have enough space on these thin little legs, then I'll trim a little bit of that. Sometimes I've had to trim the little piece of batting, pardon me, that I've used. So now it's just a matter of tucking this under. It's very tiny, and you don't have to be perfect on this. The blue background, I like to try to hide as much of that as I can, but he is on a water background. So if you can't tuck it under the way you'd like, do the best you can. Tuck it as much as you can, and then just stitch it. Because you're looking at it, your nose is just a few inches away from this, but the average person who sees it, they shouldn't put their nose up that close. But just stitch it under the best you can. The main thing is you don't want it to unravel, but you're not going to be washing it. So I never wash my art quilts. That's, I put lichen on them, I put real feathers, I put all kinds of doodads. So now I've got that leg is sewn down pretty good, but some of the little fabrics are sticking up. So without cutting any of the stitches, I come and give the parts that stick up a little trim. Then I come in with some fray check, which is my best friend, and I dab a good amount of that fray check on. There we go. Dab it on, pushing it down. Okay? Now, so now I've got that put on and pushed it down while it dries. I've only got this little bit left to do. So I'm going to come up and tuck this under. Some of that batting is trying to stick out there. But even that, if it looks like part of the wave, you're good. Okay, and the reason I glue these on before I sew them down, I just put a little drop in the center. You don't want to have the glue around the edges. It's too hard to sew through. But I do that so that when I am sitting there, I don't have to go looking for the applique. It's right there where I've already decided I'm going to put it. And when I have just a few minutes, I'll sew one down. And that's how I get the amount done that I want. Like Mark and I, when we eat, I have my sewing right near me. He eats slower than I do. So while I don't like to get up and start doing things while he's still eating, so I'll just pull out this and sew something down while he's still enjoying his dinner. And that's just, it feels better to me to do it that way, so that's what we do. Okay, so now I've sewn this. I'm going to bury the thread and nip that off. Alright, now, so I just kind of want to show you, then you just pull that cheesecloth, make it nice and foamy looking at the water, and now that little turtle is all settled in there. So I only have this one left to do, and look how much smaller they look once you tuck under. And where this applique is, every sharp angle has a little dart in it so that I can easily tuck in as much of this blue as possible, because I don't want the blue showing on the sand. I just trimmed around the head a little bit here at this arm. I'm going to trim off this corner a little bit, because you can only tuck under but so much. So I'll cut a little bit off of this one. And then once I finish that, then I will just do some more of the embroidery stitches. And then here are the two favorites for the wide binding. And so next week, tune in and you will see. Oh, is Mary feeling bad? Uh-oh. Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. So I think all in all, I think it's a cute quilt. And if this didn't already blend in so good, I could have put a little gray tulle over it to make it kind of disappear, but I think it's done pretty good. I do have to I want to bring this just out just a little, like right across the edge of the crab, okay? So just a little curve so it's not quite so straight, and then I think I'm going to like it. And I saw someone on a YouTube channel who did some using scraps and scrunching. I just happened to find her. She turned I forget what she did, but she turned it into a vessel. And I thought, well, that's interesting because it does have more stiffness. So I guess you could like sew it like into a vase, but nah, I'm just going to leave mine as a cute little wall hanging. Mark and I would like to move to the near the shore or a lake at some point anyway, so I'll already have my decorations ready and done. But there we go. Any questions that you might have? Any questions? Oh, you're doing the temperature rings. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, I love that, guys. That's wonderful. All right, so for all intents and purposes, this is done. I will show you the next time we get together, just so you can see whose border choice won out. And hopefully there'll be a little bit more of the hand embroidery. I do like the hand embroidery because it gives, you know, beaches aren't smooth. I mean, they have, I was even noticing where I saw a beach scene where the shells were, there was like a little line. So when the water drew back, because the shell was there, it left a little indentation in the sand. And I thought, oh, I wonder if I could do that. But here it is. I love the fact that I did 3 different colors of sand, and I did 3 different colors of, no, 4, because here is a little bit right there. 4 different pieces, colors of the water. Uh-oh. She likes the results. Good. Mare had been fighting a cancer, but she's doing so well. And they say if you live long enough, we'll all fight it at some point. I'm like, oh, great. Because I was always very afraid of cancer. That was my big, big boogeyman. And so now I've had it, and now I'm better. And now I don't worry. At least I try not to. But they told me after this many years, 4 years, and that I can relax. And we'll just check it once a year, and I'm good with that. So, the things we go through, let me tell you. All right, so I'm thinking it's time for show and tell. I do have some new photos to show you. Oops, let me see if I can turn this, I'm sorry, watch out. I just thought I would show you, we just got through finishing, this is the narrow strip quilt. So if any of you are new, that's the narrow strip, and I do love that. It's grown on me, I tell you. I wasn't too sure, but those are all 1/2 inch strips. So you kind of have to plot it out. I do have free patterns for it. If anybody would like, you can just write me at ourtime2quilt@gmail.com. I have a new email address, everyone. All right, so let's go look at show and tell, because guess what? We have new photos from several people, but we're also going to hear from, I got an email from, oh gosh, why, Meltem in Turkey. We've got an email and I'm thrilled. All right, so let me go over here. I wish I could move this. I don't know what happened with this. Right. In fact, before Jody has a new video. Oh, I can't wait to see it. She's been so busy working, but now that's exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now bring up show and tell. All right, I might have to make the chat a little bit smaller. Let me see. Okay. Okay. All right, so let me go over here, do show and tell. All right. All right, I'm going to bring this over. All right, here we are. And this is beautiful, Alberta's beautiful bed runner, table runner quilt. I do love this. Alberta, I tell you what, Cheryl, Alberta is at least 10 years older than you. She puts us all to shame. She's something else. I love how active she is and productive. So she gives me hope, let me tell you. All right, and look at this pretty one. I love the colors in that. Isn't that wonderful? I love that. Okay, so now let's see who else. Let's see. Come on. This window being moved over. I don't know. You probably can't tell, but this window right here is moved over. Isn't Alberta amazing? I love that gal. Okay. I think I'm okay. This window right where I'm showing you this, it's moved off center. Let me move this chat down and see. I don't know why it's that way. Let me, well, this is something I'm going to have to learn how to do, and right now, I don't know. Okay. All right, so I'll put your chat. And when we, help me remember that when we do, after we do show and tell, I want to see all who's here and check and see if you said anything that, or asked questions of me. All right, so yay, Alberta. Now go to, whoops, go back to show and tell. And I hope our Betty Meisner, I know where our Betty Meisner is. She's out in the yard. She's very much a yard lady. This is her this is her quilt tribute to Donna Jordan, who passed a couple months ago. So that's a beautiful, beautiful tribute. It's one of Donna's patterns. Very, very pretty. Okay, now I'm going to come back over. Let's see who else is next. Let me see. Oh, Miss Bonnie got to show her most recent hummingbird quilt. In fact, that reminds me, I've got to put some more hummingbird feeders out. I like to have them out early enough that I get a lot of hummingbird activity in the yard because I dearly love them. One of the favorite things is to sit out on the front porch and watch them come and try to bully me away from their feeder. Charlene Lawson did this beautiful star quilt, and I don't know if she's back in Florida or up with her daughter, but I have a feeling she's in Florida. So there's Charlene's great start. Now what did I just do? Let me try this again. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Just give me 1 second and let me... Okay. Oh, I better not have. Okay. Okay, phew. I thought I had lost y'all there. Okay, so let me bring back up. Let me bring back up. Goodness gracious, Deb, where is... show and tell. Here we are. Okay. So now, here is my... You remember from last week, my Evan was in a play. I'm so tickled with him for doing that. And then this, I watched a YouTube channel called Irish Homestead. This was the most beautiful end-screen part of the video that she made, and I just thought, that is so beautiful. You don't often see a sunset over a beautiful green field like that. Isn't that beautiful? So, wow. So I took 2 pictures of it. This one's a little more clear. If you don't know how, I don't know if you have streaming television, but it's really hard to take a photo of the screen if you have streaming video. Because when you pause it, it then kind of puts a banner across the bottom. So I'll give you a hint what Mark did. He went to the video and he put it on a very slow speed so that the YouTube video played very slowly. If you do that, then you're able to get an image without the banner across the bottom, and you can take that photo. And I just think, look at the colors in this. From the yellow of this leaf to the green to blue reflected in some of these leaves to purple reflected on the tree. And look at the layers of color. This would be a phenomenal quilt to make. So that's why I have my camera ready when I'm watching television, because, oh boy, you can get some really great inspiration. And, oh, okay, I was just taking a picture of my quilt so I could use it for our banner. All right, let's see who else. And Debbie Holt, I'll show you one more time. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Nope. Yep. One more time. Her wonderful stair vignettes. I just think these are super. I love her decorating style. And I love the fact that her new house has that gray stained wood. It's so pretty. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And look at the glass. I love the glass containers in the window. I'm a big fan to have that sun shine through those. Oh, that's lovely, Deb. Just lovely. All right, so get the cursor over here. All right, let's see who's next. And let us see. Oh, Miss Mary's been busy. You know that she did a narrow strip landscape. Love it. But look what else she did this week. She did her block number 16. So I need to hurry up and finish mine because Mary and I, at least if some of the rest of you want to, you can too. We're going to start on a new English paper piecing. This is English paper piecing, and I've got to tell you, it's the way to go. And it's wonderful for its travel ability, for it gives you a chance to be away from the sewing machine but still make something happen. It's a wonderful thing. And I have watched the progress and the ability that Miss Mary has had from the first English paper piecing block until this one. And I'm so proud of her. So way to go, Miss Mary. I just love it. I see y'all try things, brand new things, and you always excel. Marcia sent us some great photos, and she said, is it okay if she sent a flower picture? And it's like, yes. In fact, my first day back, I hope to have, since I've planted all my flowers, I'm hoping they'll have growth by the time I'm back on air, and I will have taken some pictures for you. So let's see. The first thing is, Marcia has this coat hanger is a pants hanger that belonged to her father, and I think she said her sister gave her this, and look what she turned it into. As it's like a little tribute and a memory and something practical. She made a clothes clip hanger bag. And oh gosh, if any of you are my age, you remember how wonderful they were. So, because we hung out our clothes all the time. And look how she made these really cute little, I think they're called wait a minute. What are they called? Buttons. Yo-yo buttons. I think these are yo-yo buttons, but I love the fabric she chose. That is really great. Then here it is laying down so you can see it at a different angle how she made it. I love that. Then look at her yellow irises. I'm so tickled she's included this picture because oh gosh, clothes smell so good coming off the line, don't they? It's like that trapped sunshine in the clothes. But you hardly ever see yellow irises, so I loved seeing this. Beautiful. And this is a wonderful, in fact, I was supposed to show you this. Yes, I'm going to see if I can get this with the both. This is called a Friendship Star quilt block. But look at the way these blocks make that circle. Well, she's so nice. Let me see if I can type it on here. I might be able to type it better than I can. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about the earwigs in there. Oh. Dot. Whoops. Or let me try it. Go back a minute. HTTPS : / quilt social .com first / friendship -star -quilt -block / Okay. This is the pattern. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've got so much shade here that I guess he'd get burnt poopies. And I told you about when I was a little kid, went out to play, and it was so cold. When I was raised in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, so we're not used to bitter cold. and my mother had towels hanging up on the clothesline, and I noticed they were really stiff looking. So I went over and hit one of them. The towel broke in half. And I can only imagine how expensive towels were. And here I broke one, and my mother was not happy. Okay, let's go back one more. I think she's got another picture. But thank you, Marcia, for including that free pattern. That's wonderful. Here's the other picture. But isn't that, I mean, look how pretty that matches that bedroom. That is just beautiful. And having this pattern and being able to make that circle, what fun is that going to be? So thank you, thank you. I was so tickled when I saw all her gifts. Her other one, let me go ahead and type this in too. And that was for, it's for http://www.youtube.com/watch V equals 9 hyphen big Y little y 1 W big J L U T G. All right, that should be, yes, the YouTube channel of the woman who shows you how to make prosperity hens, and she seems really neat. So I wanted to give you both of those while I remembered. All right, now let's see what else we have. Who else sent us something? Because you know Meltem sent us some good things. So I love when y'all share this with me. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Here is our Meltem. She said sorry she hasn't visited in a while. She had hurt her shoulder, but she's feeling better and she's got some things to show us. Look what she did. She did a pretty relatively narrow strip landscape herself, and she added clouds, and look at the buttons. Oh, they are so cute. Looks like wildflowers and all the strips of the fields. And it looks like she added some crocheted or tatted flowers on it. There are, I love collage quilts, don't y'all? I mean, it is so great that there is a place for everyone, and whatever your imagination, whatever it gives you inspiration to do. Oh my goodness, look at this little garden down here with beads. Meltem, this is delightful. My goodness, girlfriend. I mean, look at the little crocheted flowers. Look at the crazy piece style with the hand stitching. Look over here. There's something everywhere you look. Look at the embroidery. Look at the embroidery. Oh my gosh. Meltem, brava, hon. Brava. That's beautiful. So, Miss Meltem is a true artist, and I am so tickled that she spends time here with us. And, oh, look at this. A book cover. Now, I tell you what, people love their journals, and that is a wonderful, and just look, little scraps of hand dyes and just all kinds of little embellishments. Love it, Meltem. And look, there's a bead hanging down. It probably will mark a place in your book cover. So this could be a book you've bought to read, or a journal. That could be used for either. Oh, look at this one. Find your joy today. Look how she takes and makes the fabric with all kinds of little collage pieces. Beautiful fussy cut flowers. I love it. Isn't she something? Aren't you all as proud of our Meltem as we are? Yes, this is from Meltem. She lives in Turkey. And she has just... oh, this was her. This was... Look at her quilting. She still considers herself a new quilter. So our Meltem is quite the artist. And she said Meltem's the easiest name to call her because I think it would be a little hard for us to pronounce her real name. But I'm so proud of her. So I love it. Oh, we've got something, and here we go now to England. This is our SJ, and her daughter had a project, a dramatic project, and was going to represent a suffragette. And she had her clothing, but she didn't have a sash, a banner. And so this is what SJ made for her. And that is wonderful. And who would have known that 100 years later, we still need work like that. So beautiful, Miss SJ. Thank you so much for sending it to us. We're proud of your daughter and of you for making that. Okay, let's see. Miss Vicky, do you remember a couple weeks ago I showed you this new fabric that I bought with a gift certificate that I had to have because it was so absolutely beautiful? Well, guess what? Miss Vicky had found the same fabric. This is the panel that goes with it, the same colorway as what I got, and she made this curtain for her daughter from it. So I just love it when we end up being drawn to the same things and what we end up doing with it compared. But isn't that beautiful? I love it. And I can't wait to use that fabric. I don't know if I told you or not. I think that's it for our show and tell today. But I don't know if I told you or not, but I bought those fabrics, pre-printed different color squares. I got them from a Christmas present because I loved making this color wash quilt. And I think I've got another color wash quilt in my future. And so I got this fabric that was pre-printed by the same people who print that big dahlia. And it's little blocks in each, in the different colorways. So I said, oh, that's cool. The blocks are already there. And then I can just cut them out and decide what kind of background. Well, that fabric we just saw from Miss Jo, the boho fabric, it has all of the exact colors that I'm going to want to use in my color wash. So I'm trying to think how I can incorporate it. Maybe a border, maybe a center, medallion kind of style quilt with the color wash all around the outside. I haven't figured it out yet. But it just kind of sits in my brain and kind of percolates, and at some point, the idea hopefully will come. So, okay. Thank you for giving me a week off so that I can kind of recharge my batteries and take some time to live in the moment, which would be good because I forgot to tell you. So we've gotten almost all, I only have a little handful of flowers to put like in the driveway pots, but everything else has been planted. We even went to Home Depot and I found some hibiscus, I found some lantana, which I hadn't been able to find, and some vinca that I plant out by the mailbox. The only place I have sun, well, I have a little bit on the side yard, and that's what I was getting ready to tell you. I've got to get my vegetable garden in, because if I don't get it in the next week or so, I might as well forget it. So that's what I'm going to be working on during this time off too. But Mark has been wonderful going out there working with me. It's nice that he's retired, because there are some things that my back just won't let me do. But then I love the actual planting. So he's going to put up the fencing around the garden, because with our bunnies and deer, last year I planted a garden. They ate it all. All right, so I'm looking over my nice agenda that I type up every day. Also, don't forget, we still keep our Ukrainian flag up. It really bothers me to hear anyone blame the Ukraine for the war that was committed and still is being committed on them, on their soil. And if you know of anyone who would willingly give over part of their country, let me know, because I don't think that happens. I really don't. And I want them to hold on to every inch. So, just wanted to say one more time, our heart is with the Ukraine. All right, so we went to take a few more plants, or buy a few more plants. I will be taking photos of them. I had my hearing aids adjusted, so now they're up at maximum. Whoa. So that was very nice. Hearing aids are so worth it. If you need one, or you know someone, you love someone that needs them, please tell them. Talk to me. I wear these. Last night I was in bed. 4 in the morning, went, my hearing aids are still in. So I had to get back out of bed and go put them in the charger. So, yep, I'm pretty much considering the fabric embellishment and manipulation done. And I'll do the binding, those last few stitches, and show you the next time we get together. I've showed you my daughter Katie's wedding quilt that's 16 years late. But I'm working on it. I am working on it. I will also, the next time we meet, I will give you choices for our July free class. And what's nice is we do it on Jitsi, so you can chat. You don't have to type. We can see each other if you want. We can chat together. It is so much fun. All right, so I'll show you that next time and tell you, and I'll pick the exact date so you can put it on your calendar. And we do record it, so if you can't make it live, no problem. We'll give you the little link to the recording of it. But you have to sign up or be a current member of the group, which is free, you know, just Groups.io. Because I do not put it out to the whole general public. This is private class for us. But anybody watching is welcome. Just send me. In fact, let me go ahead and write my email address, because if you want to join our time to quilt at gmail.com. I hope I did that right. Oh, you went to a car show. Wonderful. And so there's the email. If you have pictures that you want to show of your garden or your sewing, if you'd like to join in on our free July class, anything like that, just use that email. Oh, I was going to tell you, my frame room is such a mess, I can barely walk through it. Got to fix that. And, yep, that's everything. I covered it all. I want to thank you for joining me. It's so nice to have friends, and even virtual, you mean the world to me. And it's nice because we can get together and I can work and not have to worry about, getting dressed up to go out to something. And we are a good community. Don't forget to check out Quilt Squirrel. She's got a new video. Yay. I was so happy that she got that job, and she's a very talented woman, and it's wonderful when you don't have pressures of the world on you. But y'all are special. You're wonderful. Oh, please let me thank my 2 moderators, Jo Sews and Marcia Florum. And let me, real quick, I forgot to see all who's here. Melanie, yep. I saw Melanie. Let me see. Whoa, I love how much chatting you do. That makes me happy. Marcia knew the anniversary. She doesn't forget a thing. And Debbie's here. Marcia Hahn, right on time. Ah, it's great. I put the time that I'm going to be here on Sundays at 3:05. That way, if you want to get here at 3 and y'all can chat and get settled in, and then at 3:05 I come in. I always listen to NPR, and it's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. I love that show. It cracks me up. So it gets me in a good mood right before I come in and do the show with y'all. It is so good to see Tammy again at the Siberian Wind. And Melanie. Barbara Smith. Hi, hon. Oh, I hadn't seen Barbara Smith in a while. It's wonderful to see you. Oh, Giovanna Casadio. Hello. Oh, that is really nice. Yeah, a year ago, I became a Master Nardi. So I have a little bit of inherited Italian. So it's so nice to see you. Oh, Joso's. It's so good to... You've been here before, Giovanna. I love that name. Gosh, that's pretty. Oh, Marcia, you're so sweet. Okay, and then Melanie said, where do you buy those at? They would make great gifts. Or maybe you were talking about prosperity hens. You can buy them, I think Temu sells them. Any little bohemian like craft store, I mean, they're great. If that's what you meant, then that's what that is. Joso's got hers on Amazon. Good to know. Hello, Raven. How are you? I wish I had looked earlier because I love welcoming. Thank goodness I have all of y'all who are so kind, but I'm sorry I didn't get to. Oh, I love Edgar Allan Poe. Let me tell you, when I only went to 1 year of college, but my English literature professor was the expert on Edgar Allan Poe. Be still my heart. I love his stuff. So, and ravens are cool. They're big, smart birds. So, how cool. That is your name. That's wonderful. Oh, stick with it. I was one of a zillion Debbies. Oh my gosh. It's like, we were numbered in my PE class 1 through 7. 7 Debbies in the same class. So enjoy your very unique name. So, okay. Good to see Joso and Tammy. Oh, Tammy had to go. Okay. I'm glad if you get a phone call, gotta go. It's like people say, I'm sorry I had a cookout or something with my best friend or my children. I'm like, that real alive people, that counts over this. You can watch this anytime. Okay. Crafty Pat is here. I didn't know you were here. Oh. Yes, Warren Buffett just recently announced he was retiring. He's like 94. I think you get to retire. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, Lisa was here. Oh, gee, did I miss my Lisa? She's been so busy. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm going back to see this. Wow. This is wonderful. Boy, it is so good to see all of y'all here. I love Pinterest pages too. I can get so lost in those. And our Cheryl Hogan, who we love, who's got a birthday coming up. So next week, happy birthday. Oh, this is great. I know. It's amazing. Marsha Hahn had to take food out of the oven. Well, I want my food. I'm sure you're going to share with me, right? Actually, I want to go upstairs and make some homemade mac and cheese. I've had a craving for it. Got some really good cheese I'm going to grate up. Can't wait. And I found out from some show, some kind of cooking show, the gal took Cheez-It crackers, crunched them up, and used that as a little topping on top. That's gilding the lily. I'm going to do that. So, there. Oh, it's so great to see all of you. I hope I haven't missed anyone yet. Mitty. I almost can't miss my Mitty. I love my Mitty. Oh, Lisa turns 60 in March. Lisa, you're a baby. You are just a little young thing, let me tell you. I remember 60. It was years ago. Aw. Your cross the neighbor's 87 making all kinds of quilts. Oh my gosh, I think it keeps you young. I tell you the truth. You'll hit 75 at Thanksgiving. Now see, I thought you were younger than that, Miss Pat. Y'all are all amazing. Y'all are all amazing. Oh, I love seeing everyone. I think I about caught up. If I've missed someone, I am so sorry. But I'm so tickled you're here. You're wonderful. And anyone who feels like doing our July class, just grab my email address and let me know, and we'll invite you. It is just fun, and you're welcome to bring your best chocolate candy. But I will give you, y'all will choose which pattern we use. So, I hope I got everybody. It was wonderful to see all of you. Oh my gosh, Denise is here. Denise, I was just thinking about you today. I said, I need to write my sweet Denise. I don't know if you got my last email, but I want to make sure I stay in touch with you, darling. Oh, she brought her niece to the show. That's wonderful. And I'm hearing more and more phrases of in fact, on that the commercials for Fire Mountain Gems, get out of your head and into your hands. And that, to me, is the best prescription I can give you for staying upbeat and happy. Is just work with your hands. It's amazing how well that does work. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Y'all are so important to me. I hope our Miss Monkey Mary feels better. I'm sorry she was under the weather. And I want to think of anybody that we know and love in the way of some of those terrible storms. Please be very careful and never, ever drive into water. I don't care how shallow you think it is. So, all right, everybody, take good care of yourself. I will see you not next Sunday, but the one after that. In fact, let me tell you right now what the date of that will be, because I'm not as good at doing math as June 1st, just what I thought. Okay, so we will see you on June 1st, and then we'll start making plans. Like, I want to make paper this summer. I never did it last summer. I want to do it. I want to have our class. We got to plan our summer fun. Okay, everybody? And we're going to do some Christmas things, because I'm tired of waiting until November when I don't have time to finish them. So we're going to do some Christmas ideas this summer. Take good care. Have a good week. Do something just for you, because you mean everything to us, and you can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself first, okay? Bye-bye, everyone.